Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, the excitement got to me right there. The English Premier League is back. It is on as we speak. And of course, it will dominate our thoughts on the show tonight. Well, the UFC will always also get us talking. Israel Adesanya is seeking redemption. We'll be talking about him as we move on the show tonight. We'll also take a look at Nigerian club sides, football that is, on Continental duties. We look at what they are up against in those competitions they will be in. All right. And of course, Samson Siasia is in the news. We will be talking about it. And that's the outlook of the show. It's a two-man show. My colleague Osno Kono Akpan is suited and ready as we go on this trip across the morning, spinning world of sports.
All the greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Action-packed world of sports. Yes, I love that story. Samson Siasia is back. He's a free man now. So people are saying, should he be the next manager of the Super Eagles? I don't know, but I'm super excited that Siasia is back. That's one tactical coach Nigeria has produced. So let's see what's, how he's going to get back into the coaching business, because quite a number of things have changed, but I'm sure Siasia is just in touch to, catch up with the pace. Also, yes, the English Premier League is back. What a story. Fans cannot wait to get a conversation going. Manchester United, it seems they stopped, or they've started where they stopped last season, but hey, it's just the opener. Let's see what they can do. Can they turn it around against Fulham? We'll continue to monitor that one on the show tonight. Conversations, more talks as regards Nigeria's participation at the Paris Olympics. The country came back with no medals, but we're counting down to the Paralympic Games. The organizers said the slogan for that one, the campaign is "Game is not over. We're waiting."
All right, we're waiting. A lot of things to talk about on the show tonight. Let me quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Okwemi Akyode joins us now. Greetings to you, Okwemi. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, it's an amazing time, and they said man's greatest obsession is football, and then it's back at the biggest level. We've seen the first 45 minutes of the first game of the Premier League season for the 2024-2025 season, and we've seen Manchester United. In fact, quick yellow cards for Mason Mount, and very funny dive there for Harry Maguire. But it's Manchester United. The first 10 minutes of that game had Mayo all over it. Then Fulham switched it a bit. Two Nigerians in action there as well. Alex Iwobi and Kelvin Bassey. But I mean, it's about the first day of the rest of the life of every single 20 Premier League clubs that will be getting it done tonight, and of course from the rest of the season. It's an amazing time to talk sports. And welcome again.
All right, like Austin said, we're going to have a discussion centered on the English Premier League. Bada Akintunde Johnson joins us on the show tonight. Greetings to you, Bada. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show.
Hi, Yemi. Good evening, viewers. It's always a pleasure to be here, especially to talk the beautiful game. It's the kickoff of the Premier League season for 24-25. It's excitement galore. As has been mentioned, the opening game is on. It's still goalless. We're waiting the first goal of the season, but it's 380 games, 380 premium games. It's top quality entertainment. Doesn't get any better, and we're here for each and every moment of it, dissecting, analyzing, and helping the viewers make sense of what's going down.
All right, let me just throw this in quickly before I yield back to Austin. You've seen the first half, and some of my colleagues, Manchester United fans, kept screaming to my ears, well, same United. Is it too early after 45 minutes? And most of them was, look, I'm still seeing Harry Maguire, I'm still seeing Mason Mount, all of them up to what they've been up to last season. So do you feel after 45 minutes you can still say, oh, well, same United?
I don't think so. I think they've created quite a number of clear-cut chances in the first game, in the first half. Should have been a couple of goals up. Both Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro are guilty of frittering away clear opportunities that professionals at their level should be putting into the back of the net. I think that they've looked a bit more solid, a bit more difficult to play through down the middle. They've looked a bit more assured in possession as well. If you remember exactly last year, the opening game, Wolves were just running rings around them, and you literally could park trailers and trucks in the middle of Manchester United midfield last year. But they seem to have a structure about them. They're playing one touch football. They're moving it around nicely, and they're creating chances. And let's not forget, they're without an arrowhead, a point man, a number 9, because Højlund is injured. So Bruno Fernandes is the false 9. If they had a natural finisher on that pitch, I'm sure they would have scored a goal. But then it's the Premier League. If you don't take your chances, you may still get punished. United fans will hope that's not the case. But I feel like on the evidence of what I saw in the first 45 minutes, there's been a bit of improvement to the team that we saw that was completely out of sorts for most part of last season.
Okay. All right, let me yield to Austin. It is where everything is happening. A lot of people were saying Ten Hag was playing on words, says they are not ready in one breath. In another breath, he's saying we can challenge for the title. Which one is it?
I think first he needs to, find a way to get these players to play for him. You should avoid a repeat of what happened last season. People are already tagging them boring, and I'll say calm down. It's just the start of the season, and at this stage, football has gone tactical. There's a lot of science involved in it now. So it's still fresh. Players from Fulham are also looking to get the season going properly. I was listening to Talk Sports, and the guys are saying that gone are the days when you use name, to analyze football. I think that's what a lot of fans are still doing. Oh, it's Manchester United versus Fulham. So right away, you expect the result to go the way of Manchester United. But for Eric Ten Hag, whatever he's doing, he needs to make sure Manchester United isn't as abysmal as they were last season. It was a terrible season. Some way, somehow, they just found a way to, win that FA Cup. And I think that's what gave him the contract. And again, maybe United, the board were so scared of taking risk or starting all over again. That's why they kept faith with Ten Hag. But he knows he needs to do a lot of work in that team. I still think they need a top striker, a complete finisher. I think they need somebody in the midfield who can, play around the ball more like a playmaker, who has good work rate and who doesn't lose it easily. So with that, I think Manchester United just need to sit down, look at this game against Fulham and say to themselves, look, we cannot be the team that we were last season. I've heard a lot of people say, look, they can be an interesting team. I think they also have that quality to be. But what do you think is lacking in this team that they need to turn around?
Basically, I think it's mentality. I've seen, Bruno Fernandes really struggle last season, even in his role as the captain. There are times where, the cause of the referee is not exactly going the way of Manchester United, and then you see Bruno Fernandes getting angry, getting really pissed and all of that. But I think I'm really going to go the way of Austin. They need a potent finisher. The Rashford of the season before the last was not the Rashford of last season. So if Manchester United really want to go to that next level, I would say this. A lot of people need to stay calm. It's the first 45 minutes of a whole lengthy season. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So even if they lose games, it's not the end of it. Besides, it's Fulham. Fulham also got quality in them. They brought in a couple of players. They went to Arsenal, brought in Smith Rowe, and then we've seen their form in preseason games. And then they're also riding on the fact that last season when it came to Old Trafford, the two Nigeria boys in Barca and Alex Iwobi got those 2 goals. So I think for Manchester United, they will still sit back. First off, the transfer window is still open. So they can still go into the market and pick, where they think there are holes that they need to fix. But more importantly, you cannot be playing Fernandes as a false 9. It's a sacrilege. You're committing blasphemy. You have to make sure that it stays where it's more comfortable, which is more like a ring man. Get all of the balls around you. Have a finisher that can give you at least into double figure. Højlund is not as sure that he's going to stay fit. He's a young player. He's still growing through the ranks. We saw him at the Euros with Denmark. He didn't exactly blow out of proportion.
Let me come in. This is it with football fans and our analysis. What if it does the false nine thing with Fernandes and it works? Aren't people going to come out and start glorifying the move?
I mean, you see what you've basically done, Austin, by taking that risk of a false nine is you've denied the team of the static creativity that Fernandes is known for. Why would you want to take the risk? Keep him where he's more comfortable and get someone that can do the job.
All right.
It's simple.
All right. We'll go on and on. All right, let's talk about the fixtures. I'll get better into it in a bit. I'll go across now. Look at the fixtures. It started with Manchester United and Fulham, but then our fixtures tomorrow. The EPL is back in full swing. So I go across now. Take a look at the fixtures. Match day 1, of course, Saturday, which is tomorrow. Ipswich Town, newcomers, will be up against Liverpool, a new manager. Arsenal will be up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Everton will be up against Brighton over Albion. Newcastle United will be up against Southampton. Nottingham Forest will be up against Bournemouth. West Ham United will take on Aston Villa. There are other matches to play on Sunday. Let's quickly see those matches. 2 matches, to be precise. Brentford will take on Crystal Palace. And, of course, Chelsea will take on Manchester City. All right. A lot of people have been talking about Arsenal. They've been saying they were close last season. They imploded the season before. Maybe this is the season they will get it over Manchester City. Who knows? And of course, the manager has been speaking. He's been talking, saying, "Look, the team has to improve, and the only way is up." All right, let's listen to Mikel Arteta speak about Arsenal. Then we come back to take a look at, of course, the fixtures with special focus on Arsenal and Manchester City.
After the season, we had 2 objectives. The main one and the most important one is make sure that we're still very, very much in love with our players and find ways to improve them, because that's the main thing. And then, okay, if there are certain opportunities in the market to improve the squad, certainly we have to look at that, and that's what we've been trying to do. Well, this is the demands that we put internally, that they have to be much higher than anybody can ever think of putting us in any position that we feel the pressure, and that's the level that we have to hit every single day here. And if we do that, obviously our level will increase and everybody will be benefited to that.
All right, so Mikel Arteta speaking, talking about his team, the Gunners, they must improve. Let me come to Bada. A lot has been said about the Arsenal team. And it divides opinion. I don't know why that is. Some feel they always know how to bottle it. Some feel they're getting close. For you, which one is it?
Well, we have to separate banter from analysis. When we're trying to take a dig at rival clubs, we say things that we know are not factual. There's no way on earth you look at the effort of the Arsenal team, the performances over the last 2 years or 2 seasons, and you accuse them of bottling the championship in a league that's got Man City. Clearly, it'll take something super special to stop a team that has won 4 on the bounce. In that time, won the Champions League as well. City are the dominant force in English football, and were it not be for Arsenal pushing them so close, they would have been strolling to the title, considering just how abysmal the other oppositions have been. But you've got to give credit to Arsenal. 2 seasons ago, when they were accused of bottling the league, at the beginning of the season, there was no one in their right mind who predicted that Arsenal would even finish in the top 2. But then they stayed on top of the league table for quite a while. Much of it was also owing to the fact that City had games in hand. And as soon as they played those games, they closed the gap and beat Arsenal over the 2 games. Last season, you saw Arsenal make remarkable progress in not losing to any of the top 6 teams, including Man City. They got 4 points out of City. The second half of the season, particularly, Arsenal went on a run, which saw them pick, I think 87% of the points they competed for. Remarkable. The only loss they had between January and the end of the season was actually that one to Aston Villa, which a lot of people would claim was the reason they didn't win the league. But I think that they keep making progress, and if they keep strength with Calafiori, who's coming from the Serie A, there are talks of Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad happening, and maybe they bring in a backup for Bukayo Saka, who alongside Saliba played almost every minute last season. The pundits believe that if Arsenal would get a proven goal scorer, maybe they go 1 or 2 notches higher. But I don't think that the problem with Arsenal is goal scoring. Especially in the second half of last season, they were hitting teams for 6, for 5, for 4. They were scoring for 4, and they beat Chelsea 5-0. A team that is struggling for goals doesn't beat, a team's Premier League teams for 5 or 6 for 4 in the way and manner that they've done. And they've got the best defense in the league. I think what they need to do is cross the 90-point barrier this season and hope that Man City drop a couple of levels. But because if Man City continue to be the force that we've known them to be over the last 4 years, Arsenal may do a 90-plus season and still fall short. That's the reality because of just how good Man City have been. In other eras in the Premier League, those 2 seasons, based on number of points won, Arsenal could easily have been champions.
All right,
but yeah, I think that's the difference actually about that. No disrespect to Arsenal and the push that they're giving to Manchester City, but I think if you get 4 points off the champions and then you're looking at winning the title, you shouldn't be losing some games, the way they lost the game against West Ham, for instance, the way they lost the game against Aston Villa, and I think Fulham also. So I think that those are the places we need to punch the Gunners into, some, conscious football play. Anyway, let's talk about Chelsea. There's a lot of talks about Victor Osimhen joining the Blues. I think Chelsea is one team that they're wagging their tails, thinking they're going to have a great season. You think if Victor Osimhen joins the team, it will make a huge difference?
It's going to be a big call, whether you like it or not. Probably Victor Osimhen of the season, Napoli won the league. It's not exactly the Victor Osimhen we have right now because of a couple of other issues. But you look at this Chelsea side, and I've always asked, a team that's got about 44 players on their book, it doesn't look to me like the problem is lack of quality players. They've got players in that squad.
Cohesion.
It's just about putting in too many players at the same time. There was a point last season where they said the dressing room of Chelsea was so full that players had to stay on the corridor to get prepared for matches. And it's tough. They have a new manager. He's coming in with little or no Premier League experience. Yes, he had a big season with Leicester City in the Championship last season. But you also remember that his almost 12-point lead was cut to 1 point at some point against Southampton. He had to squeal through to get, to bring Leicester City forward. But it's going to be a massive addition for them if they're able to bring in Victor Osimhen. Is he one of the best strikers in world football right now? I don't know. Will he improve Chelsea? Absolutely. See, Victor Osimhen will give you double figure. If you look at Chelsea were the 4th best team from December to the end of the season last time out. Their problem was not creating chances. The problem was not converting those chances. There was so much expectations on Cole Palmer. He delivered. But what about the other strikers? What about Nkunku? What about Jackson? But if Victor Osimhen comes into that place, those huge knockdowns, all those fighting energies, Osimhen gives you all of that. But the time at which it's going to come is a different ball game.
All right.
The current African Footballer of the Year should not be going to a team that will be playing in the Conference League on loan. I can't wrap my head around that, Yemi.
All right, I can as well.
I can't.
But we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, still a few more issues on the English Premier League. And then, of course, we'll cross to some of the other issues we want to talk about on the show. Let's go for that break. We'll come back for more. Let's go tonight. All right, welcome back. We're still talking the English Premier League. All right, let me throw this last one at Bada. We don't want to keep him for too long. I'm very sure you've looked at the fixtures for Saturday. and Sunday. So let's take the key games, your predictions for the key games. The games, of course, Manchester City, Chelsea. You also look at the Arsenal game, the Liverpool game, and maybe one or two, what you think will happen in those games.
I think clearly the standout fixture for this weekend is City against Chelsea. We saw both of them in a bit of a dress rehearsal in the United States a couple of weeks ago, I think about 3 weeks ago, which Man City dominated and won quite easily, owing to a lot of errors by the Chelsea backline trying to play the ball out of the back. Maresca has a set way he wants his team to play. He wants them to build up from the goalkeeper, play the ball through the lines and work it up the pitch. Unfortunately, still early days. The likes of Badiashile are still making elementary errors. So we'll have to wait and see if those errors have been cut out in the training sessions that have followed since then. But clearly, Man City will be expected to win that game, regardless of the fact that Julian Alvarez is gone. De Bruyne might not be starting. Rodri isn't starting. But the strength and depth of that City team still makes them a lot of favorites. But it's two teams who will play the ball on the ground, will move it around very quickly, sweet passing, quick movement. There'll be a lot of goal mouth action, and I expect a lot of goals in that. But City definitely defending champions. The know-how, year in, year out, the experience, the goal-scoring abilities of Haaland. Unfortunately, they've lost Oscar Bob, who was super exciting. For me, their best player at preseason. Broke his leg, is out for a couple of months. But they've got other competent players. They brought Silvinho in from Girona, who looked very good in the Community Shield game against United a week ago. So, I can't wait for that game on Sunday. It's going to be super, super exciting. But as I said, I expect City to win. Also looking to what Liverpool does tomorrow against Ipswich at a tea time kickoff. Arne Slot has slotted in nicely at Liverpool. Saw them in pre-season. They look very, very comfortable in terms of how they execute his game plan. The dynamism of their build-up. So unlike the Gegen pressing sort of style that Jurgen play.
Yeah.
I mix it up. They're not as hard.
All right. Seem to be having problems with the network. But if you can hear me, I want to thank you for your time on the show. Hopefully we get to do this some other time. But I was giving us his thoughts on the matches to be played this weekend. All right. A good place to leave it. We have a lot lined up for your viewing pleasure tonight. Let me yield to Austin now. I know you want to say a thing or two, but we have to move on. Something happening in Surulere that you've been monitoring. You've always talked about road races, how you think those things are good, not just for sports, even for our health as well.
So much, particularly it can actually lead us towards proper development of road races and even the marathons in Nigeria. And in the last 7 years, we've been trying to take it very seriously in the country. So for the first time within Surulere in Lagos, southwest Nigeria, the community is set to hold a 10-kilometer road race. You see, this is why I say we need more people to join the conversation. The Okpekpe International Road Race has given birth to loads of road races. And that's why I always commend the organizers of that road race. Look at what it has done. We've seen road races in Enugu, in Anambra, in Ijebu-Ode, in Abeokuta, in Lagos, and now we're seeing one in Surulere. The first, and this is the first community-based road race in Nigeria that will attract over 500 elite professionals and amateurs. The race tagged Lere for nation will start from the Teslim Balogun Stadium and will end at the Bode Thomas Street on August the 17th within Surulere local government area, the winner of the maiden edition of the 10-kilometer road race, will win ₦1 million. Now, it's not just about the money. It's about the activities that we create. It's about the employment opportunities. It's about the community coming out on that day for fitness, for awareness. And they use these road races to also run campaigns. Let's take a listen at some of the talking points that's come out of this Surulere road race competition.
The Lere Phonathon has 7 distinctive attributes that set it apart from similar events. The first is community focus. Lere Phonathon prioritizes community engagement, aiming to bring residents together and foster a sense of belonging. Second, inclusion. The event welcomes participants of all ages and fitness levels, making it a truly inclusive experience. Holistic approach. Lere Phonathon combines physical activity through a 10-kilometer road race with entertainment at the fun fair, health and wellness initiatives, and socialization opportunities. Fourth, local talent showcase. The event provides a platform for local artists, musicians, sportsmen, and businesses to showcase their talents and products. Surulere-centric. Lere Phonathon shines a spotlight on Surulere, promoting its unique culture and attractions. 6, organized by locals for locals.
So these kind of initiatives beckoned by Surulere government is a thing that we are taking upon ourselves to take to other local governments, to encourage other local governments to have a buy-in. You can imagine we take it to Mushi, to Alimoso, Egbe, Badagry, and if it is consistent within 57 local governments, youths, the young ones will be so busy and preoccupied and prepared, and it's an opportunity for us to now challenge the likes of people coming from Kenya, from Ethiopia. It will happen a day or a year, but the consistency and the spread of this kind of initiative will position Lagos on the world map further position Lagos on the world map of good races.
So that's it, Lere Phonathon. I like this one a lot. It's getting into communities now. States embraced it. It's getting into communities now. Then we expect the benefits to trickle down into the individuals that will participate at the events.
Absolutely. Big shout out to the guys. It's home for me, being a thoroughbred Surulere boy. There's always that feeling when you get into the media for the right reasons. And the Phonathon for me is a big deal. The first of its kind because it's community-based. You heard, Mr. Lawson talk about the 7 distinct fixtures of this particular one. It's basically about understanding that the talent. See, when people talk about Surulere, the first thing that comes to your mind is like the heartbeat of sports in Lagos, not just because of the stadiums in Surulere, but look at everything happening in that Surulere, from Shita to Kilo to Masha to Bode Thomas to Eric Moore. The talents are just endless. And I think it's a whole lot of credit to the guys putting up this one. But my problem is consistency. It's one thing to start really good, but how much more can you do to get it? Or ₦1 million for a Surulere person or whoever wins it. It's a good way to start.
Very good way to start. All right, it's time to move on the show. If there was ever an elephant in the room, this is it. And we're going to address it right about now. UFC is what is getting our attention. Israel Adesanya is in the news. He'll be up against a fighter that they've had issues. There's been a spat, and the build up to the fight is been about his more than the belt. So let's talk about it now. Tail of the tape is what we're about to do. I'm going to stand up, go across the screen, and reel out some facts. And I'm going to pick out something that they have in common. Both fighters have something in common. But first, we look at Dricus du Plessis of South Africa, who claims to be the original African champion. And that's the genesis of the beef. because Israel Adesanya feels that is a diss to him. He feels disrespected with that. So in comparison, wins, losses, and draws, Du Plessis, of course, 2 losses, 21 wins. For Adesanya, 24 wins, 3 losses. For their nickname, the last stylebender, is what Adesanya goes by as height. In terms of height, Adesanya is taller. In terms of reach, of course, Adesanya also has a better reach, longer arm. All right. You look at the stance; they have both the same. The switch. You look at takedown defense for Du Plessis, 40%. For Adesanya is a bit more effective with 70. Most recent fight is where I'm going. What both have in common, they have both fought against Strickland. And of course, for Adesanya, it was a loss. For Du Plessis, it was a win against Sean Strickland. And of course, in terms of age, Adesanya is older. Adesanya is 35, and Du Plessis is younger. Let me come to you. I really wish we had time, but we don't. But let's make do with what we have. I listened to Kamaru Usman in his analysis of this fight. Of course, he's Nigerian, and I know he will be backing his man. But he feels that the fighter that needs to adjust is Du Plessis, not Adesanya. That Adesanya has some sort of advantage. If I had my mind to hear, my fear is, if this young man is able to, I don't think Adesanya does well when he gets taken down, when he's grabbed. But if he can keep you at a distance, what he did with Yoel Romero in those kind of situations, I feel the only way he can win this bout is if he outpoints Du Plessis. But if he wants to make it a brawl, I'm not sure.
It's going to be tough. I watched Adesanya's interview this morning, and he alluded to the fact that the pendulum seems to be on his side. A lot of people feel like it's his fight to lose. A lot of people think like Du Plessis is the less advantaged fighter going into this one. But I want to quickly disagree. First off, this fight is going to be held in South Africa. I mean, it gives a lot of advantage to Du Plessis, by the way. The fans will turn him into the stadium and make the environment as hostile as possible. But again, you look at Israel Adesanya, he really wants to have that belt back. He said that this is probably one of the times he's out to fight for a belt and need it really desperately. I think it's about tiny details. Who wanted the most? I watched the same interview we're referring to from Cameroon. It's obvious that in terms of the balance, the experience, the age, the numbers, the fights, the wins, everything seems to be on the part of Israel Adesanya. That gives Du Plessis the chance to get into the fight with almost little or nothing to lose. And you also look at the fact that what happened in Adesanya's last fight against Strickland, I felt really disappointed. I felt he had that game for kill. I felt he was quite a bit careful getting into the game, and Strickland saw that and he went for it. This one, see, Adesanya has everything going for him right now. His body movement is more experienced now. He looks calmer. He looks wiser getting into fight like this, because fight like this can be a bit tricky.
All right.
You feel like, oh, I've got it done. A lot of people are giving me the advantage, and then I just go into it that way. Adesanya is not the fighter that loves to be caged. He doesn't like, when they take him down, you pull that pressure on his upper body and it affects his bounce when he gets back up. And I really, really hope you understand. He's got a really strong left foot. If he gets Du Plessis on the neck with that kick, it's over. But I want to have fun. I want the fight to go on for a while before.
Don't say, I don't agree. Let's go to Austin. I'm not sure Austin wants to have fun. Austin probably wants the belt back. In
as
the
quick
hands
as possible
of Israel as quick as possible. But I don't know if you share my fears, Austin. Du Plessis will come into this fight wanting the takedowns, wanting to grab, because a lot of people will tell you that's a kryptonite. That's a kryptonite that works against Adesanya. Once he starts getting grabbed.
Yeah. And then when it's now being pushed against the cage, you can easily catch him. But if the presser that was done this morning for UFC 305 was anything to go by, then DDP is already winning. Israel Adesanya was asked, would you be taking the belt back to Nigeria? Don't forget, This is a fight. It's a battle for Africa. GDP lives and trains in South Africa and claims that he's the African king in the UFC. And he keeps saying, throwing jabs that some people relocated and they went abroad and all of that. So when Adesanya was asked that question, Du Plessis interjected and said, would you be taking your servants along with you? And that hit a bad nerve in Adesanya. And then he jumped up and said, he told him to shut the F up, don't talk about my family. And he actually shed tears because Adesanya got really emotional. And then he used that slang we use back home in Nigeria on the street. He said, I swear to God, I will fight you forever. You know, that's the sort of stuff we want to see before a fight. But it just shows that things have gone from bad to worse now. And Adesanya just needs to go out there and prove a point. And this is what I like about Adesanya. When you push him so bad,
he bounces off.
That's what we saw in the second fight against Alex Pereira. You know, Pereira did all the trash talk and everything, and he really got to Israel. And we saw the way he finished it off. He did the same thing when he fought the big guy from Brazil. He has always been like that when you push him to the point that makes him react. So with what GDP said this morning at the press conference, I know that UFC 305 will be fire.
All right, it will be fire. We hope it all heads up. The belt heads up in the hands of Adesanya. I don't know if I should be talking the way I'm talking, but of course, forgive me, I'm Nigerian. All right, let's talk about this one. Heartwarming news. I have my views on this, but I'll keep my views to myself. But I must say, I'm very happy with this news. Samson Siasia now free to do what he loves doing. Should we have been here in the first place? But that's an issue for another day. I feel the man was unfairly treated. Personal opinion, but that's not what we are discussing. What we are discussing now, and Austin left a cliffhanger. Now he's back, and the Super Eagles job is vacant. I don't know. A lot of people are already saying things.
No disrespect to Siasia, but yeah, I mean, let's get serious. I'm not sure we can afford that level of publicity as we speak. In terms of, you know, what comes with Siasia, I just talked about the fact that there were not too much clarity in why the ban was in place in the first place. If you ask FIFA, I will tell you that there's no concrete evidence about, you know, whether that particular contact from the agent influenced those decisions.
But give somebody a 5-year ban for intention. The act wasn't even
the act was committed. We moved away from the above. People get carried for intentions, by the way, but it's to one side. Siasia coming back, I won't say he's been out of touch with modern football, but in football, 5 years is enough time to lose touch. The realities of it, the new technologies that are coming to management. I'm not sure if a team that is struggling to qualify for a major tournament should bring in Siasia into it right now. I don't even know why the agenda is flying.
I don't know
where that is coming from.
I
don't know. We should exactly. That club football. I had a conversation with the general manager of Mighty Jet, the Just Base Club, on Monday when the rumor filtered in that he's probably going to be the manager of the Just Base side. And Fernand Ubum said, "Oh, we're working on it, but there's nothing concrete for now." If he's coming back out of ban 5 years, we're talking about the biggest, in terms of value, national team in Africa. We don't want, no disrespect to Siasia yet again, but we don't want that extra luggage of, oh, we're getting into the games, into qualifiers, and rather for us to be talking about the performance of the team, we're talking about the manager that just came out of a ban and then is handling the national team. Let's get serious, Yemi. Let's focus. We have qualifiers to play. We're in a bad place in the group. We're not even sure of going to the next World Cup yet. Siasia should not be on this, man. We should leave this agenda, Yemi.
But you can understand why. The only coach to have won us a silver and a bronze at the Olympics and some other laurels. But again, I understand. We should just be rejoicing that the man is free to do what he loves doing. Let me allow Austin to say something about that as we move on. We're pressed for time, but I'm very sure. I would have loved to have talked about Samson Siasia without bringing in, but just the moment he's free to do his job, then they started putting him in the mix. And of course, when they put him in the mix, this will happen.
He's an intelligent guy, you know. I'm yet to speak to him. I know he'll be getting loads of calls. Hopefully next week, I'll try to get him on the show. I don't think he has lost touch with coaching. I mean, he was right here with us on Planet F, so he knows what's going on. There's social media, there's internet, there are courses online. refresher courses he can do to get back to the mix. I like him because he's somebody who, we learns from his experiences. Even check back on the day from when he played for the Super Eagles, being humbled to be a substitute player, and whenever he comes in, he gives his best. And then he went on to coach the under-20. People can remember how bad it went for him. Right after that, he became the Super Eagles coach. And after that, he went to the Olympics. He's been there, done that, gone through so much. And I think this is a vital lesson for him as he approaches old age. So now when he comes back, he will uphold the proper standards of professionalism. I'm not saying that he was at fault for whatever he did, but now he knows better. It was an eye opener, and I'm sure Samson Siasia will get back into the game and give us a beautiful story to talk about his football coaching career.
All right, we're going to do this. We're going to race through what we have. I'm going to go across in a bit as we prepare to wrap things up. I'm going to quickly talk about our teams involved in CAF club competitions. When I'm done, Austin will take us to Bielsa and run through what has happened in Bielsa in the preseason tournament. So I go across now. I'll race through then probably allow Okwemi 15 seconds to say a word or two. He's going to make it very, very fast. All right. So the first leg of this qualifying rounds, Rangers International, of course, will be up against the team from the Comoros. And of course, Remo Stars. I feel for Remo Stars, FAR Rabat, not a small fry at all. And these North African teams seem to always have a number. But then again, you could balance and say Remo Stars did the job against one of them a while ago. All right. This is the CAF Champions League. Let's see for the CAF Confederation Cup. Let's quickly go to the CAF Confederation Cup and look at teams that will be in action. There you go. El Kanemi up against their opponents from Benin Republic. Okwemi, 30 seconds. I know it's not very easy, but quickly, what do you expect in those first leg encounters? Do you think we'll come out 3-on-3?
I think we should. We have the home advantage. And Roma Stars are obviously returning again. So, I mean, these competitions, the longer you keep going, the more experience you get on how to get the job done. I watched the interview of Ijabol, that's the manager of Roma Stars, and then he was pretty confident that they can go forward. And they've done really well in a couple of the preseason stuff they've done as well. But for Academy Warriors, I don't know for them. They came up just from the NNL, won the presidential, FA Cup, and now they are the continent, and I really don't know. I don't know if they can really pull it through.
All right, we'll see if they can. Let me to Austin quickly. The, of course, preseason tournament, the Governor Doye Diri preseason tournament, it's all done and dusted now. But, of course, you've been monitoring. The distance wasn't an issue for you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good one. We set it for preseason, competition in Nigeria to get teams ready. I think about 5 Nigeria Professional Football League, Nigeria Premier Football League teams, and one non-league team, one league team, Crusader FC. At the end of our proceedings today, we now have the finalists. It's going to be Bendel Insurance versus Bielsa United. That's Coach Monde Odige versus Coach Ladan Boso. For Ladan Boso, you'll be hoping to use this one to prove a point, to tell Bielsa United fans that, look, I'm back, I'm better to lead this team. Remember, it took them to the continent when the team was Ocean Boys, and now he's back again. And with this preseason, he's already proving points. Bendel Insurance will know their pedigree in the league. We know what Coach Monde Odige has done with this team. I love the fact that they've retained him. That's some good consistency. So when the final is played, we'll come back next week to talk about it. That's our own football, and we love it so much. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, I'm in Lagos. It's a wrap as well. But before I go, I want to thank Kwame Akyode for his time on the show. Hopefully, we'll do this again.
Yeah, we'll always do. And football is back. Stay safe and enjoy yourself.
All right. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you again next week. I'm Emi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.